All right, so I just got back from a trip to Japan and I brought this guy with me. I brought some other cameras too, but mainly I was shooting a lot on this, the Fuji X-Half by Fujifilm. Now this isn't my personal Fujifilm camera. I actually borrowed this from a Fujifilm ambassador, Brian Minier. So if you don't know who Brian is, go check him out. He's incredible. And I actually met up with him at Adobe Max. And when I met him, I was talking about how I wanted to bring a Fujifilm camera to Japan, specifically the Fuji X-Half. I had a little bit of hands-on experience with this at a Fujifilm event earlier in the year, but I didn't really have enough time with the camera really to form an opinion about it. So I asked Brian, hey, can I take your camera? And he said, no problem. So he lent me his personal camera, I took it to Japan, and I fell in love with this. So I wanna make this video kind of short, simple, and sweet. We're not gonna dive into a lot of the specs because you guys can go and on a Google search and find that, but we'll talk about some of the small specs. There's a lot of pros and cons about this camera. I think the cons are obvious. There's no EVF. It's a half frame, so everything is shot kind of vertical format. If you shoot it in a horizontal format, you basically get 2 images on there, which is kind of cool if you want to do like a diptych or anything like that. Yeah, there's no raw images out of this, which I think was probably the biggest con Fujifilm could have done. At least maybe in the future, we could see this getting like a firmware upgrade to be able to get DNG files, to have a little bit of flexibility with your edits. But after using the camera, I don't even think that it needs it, to be honest with you. This camera is just such a fun camera to take around, shoot, and not even think about. I'm actually shooting on the Fuji X-Half today, just doing a bunch of content on this. So we're just roaming right now. We're gonna get a little snack and check out some of the stalls and just shoot some photo here. So enjoy the content and yeah, enjoy the video. The images that come out of this camera, and I'm gonna post some as I'm talking right now, the images that come out of this camera are fun. They're good, they're edited already. They have great colors. Fujifilm is known for its colors when it comes to JPEG images, and the colors that get baked into this are absolutely incredible. It has a ton of different filters in here. One of my favorite filters has been the light leak filter. It's super fun. It's never the same. It's always different. You have your classic colors from Fujifilm, like Classic Chrome, Real Ace, Nostalgic Neg. All those are built into the camera. So that's kind of what you get when you shoot with it. I loved using the Classic Chrome because it's always been my favorite, or even the Eterna in photo mode is really cool. But I was primarily stuck on that light leak feature. I just thought it was so fun. And even the images out of that kind of have this really punchy look to it, which is very on par with my style. It does shoot video, but I didn't really play with any of the video on this. It shoots like some slow-mo and it shoots this like regular video. You can actually throw on those like filters as well. So it has this funky fisheye mode, which I kind of played with a little bit. Now I will say, if you get this camera, there are some accessories that you're probably going to want. And this camera has all of them on it already. It has this really cool lens hood right here from Small Rig. It has this extra thumb grip as well from Small Rig. And it has a base plate right here from Small Rig. I think that with these accessories, especially this little added grip, I think it's definitely something you need to kind of feel comfortable in this camera. If you have bigger hands, it's gonna feel weird no matter what. I have little baby hands, so it didn't really bother me. This little wrist strap came in handy too. I kind of just kept this camera in my pocket all day in Japan, and every time I walked out, I would snap a couple photos here and there. There were 2 times that I actually threw it into the film mode simulation, which is really cool and really unique. Though there was some things that I didn't like about it, and it's probably just a setting in the camera that you have to turn off. But when I'd put it in film mode, I would only shoot in the 36 frames, which you could set it up to like 36, 24, and I think 56 or something like that. But with that mode, you cannot let the battery die. You can turn the camera off and turn it back on and it will stay in film mode. You won't lose anything, which is kind of what I did to make sure the battery didn't die, because I found it so hard to be able to shoot 36 frames on a digital camera because I still treated it like film. Like I was still running around treating this camera like it was a film camera. Like I was paying $1, $2 a photo, which kind of leads me to why I love this camera so much. This camera really, even though they're 18 megapixel JPEGs and you're probably not gonna ever print them out, it still makes you slow down. It makes you slow down and think about what you're shooting, your composition, your subject, all those things. And especially if you throw it in that film mode, this camera essentially felt like a film camera. I mean, you literally have to wind it like this and push the button. And that's where I kind of wasn't the biggest fan of this camera. You see the little flash. There's a little flash on there too, guys. If you didn't see the little flash, there is a flash on there, which is cool. I never really used it. I was mostly shooting with this at daytime. One of the things I didn't like about this in film mode, and this might be something just that's turned off in the camera. This isn't my camera, so I didn't mess with any of the settings. It has a auto shut off feature. So if you're shooting film, it'll shut down. So all you have to do is push the shutter button and it'll wake it up. It does take it a little bit of time to wake up. So I missed a ton of shots where I was like, oh my gosh, this should be so cool. Take the camera out, go to shoot, and the screen was black. So I'd have to push it a couple times like that. And then it would wake up and then the shot was already gone. The subject was out of frame. I was doing a lot of street photography with this camera, so you want to be fast with it. There's also no shutter sound or even sound when it would lock focus, like no beeping noise. There's a little green indicator right here at the top that you could see, and that shows that you're in focus, but there was no beep, and that might be something, again, that's just turned off in the camera. I didn't change any of the settings. It's not my camera. And there might be a shutter sound button with the film mode that you could turn on as well. What I would love to see this camera kind of evolve into is I definitely would love to see something in the EVF. There's absolutely nothing. It's straight rangefinder. All you see is just a clear screen path, like nothing. I would love to see something in the EVF in a version 2. Maybe even just like a focus point would be fine. I don't need to see like my settings or anything like that. Just a focus point that shows, because I use the EVF a lot. So I put it up to eye. It does have that little green button and you can see it, but I would love to see that more in the EVF rather than in the side of my peripheral vision. It just felt weird. Maybe slightly bigger, just like a little bit bigger would be great. It did feel kind of funky, like weird holding this camera sometimes. So just a little bigger would be great. Maybe a pop-up flash instead of this front-facing flash would be awesome too, like right here off to the side, it kind of just pops up. I think that would give you a little better of flash control. I never really used the flash, but it would be fun to have that on there. And then I think what would be really cool for the version 2, so you do have this mechanical lever right here, but there's no really there's no mechanism to it, right? Let me show you a film camera real quick. Let me see if I have one that has a mechanism. Okay, that's a bad one because that one's broken. So this is an old Zeiss film camera, 35mm camera. This is the Fuji X-Half. Just a little bit bigger. And I think this as an X-Half size would be really cool. It could be even a little smaller, but this is what I mean by the mechanical sound. I think if they added some sort of mechanical, even though it was fake and it didn't do anything, but it made this click, it would be so amazing. Listen to this. Right? It has that kind of mechanical wind-up sound to it. This doesn't. This makes absolutely nothing. I did notice that when you throw it into manual focus though, and you're manually focusing, it has this like ticking sound, which is kind of cool. I don't know if it's supposed to do that, but it's like kind of reminds me of something that was more mechanical and not digital. And I think that's what they're trying to go with this camera, is try to bring you back to that mechanical feel of film cameras, right? Overall, who is this camera for? Well, I think it's for the hobbyist, but I also think that professionals could use this for fun. It could also be something that inspires you for bigger shoots. Maybe you're going out to a scene and you just want to kind of take a couple quick snaps with a camera that does some processing in it already, like kind of emulate some edits that you're already going for. You could take this out to a location scout and take a couple pictures with this rather than taking it with your phone. So you kind of get that idea of what you want to go for. I also think that this is for like really like beginner photographers who are just trying to learn cameras. I always think that you should start out with the basics. Don't go and buy the best camera right away because you might not even like photography in the end, right? So if you go out and buy something like this, and then you learn the basics, you can set this up to be a manual so you can learn the exposure triangle on this, or you can use it as a point and shoot. I set it into aperture priority and I shot it exactly like that, just kind of relied on the available light. So you have this little like ISO dial where you can kind of adjust your ISO to kind of make your shutter speed go higher or lower. And yeah, I think this is a great camera. I think where Fujifilm kind of fell short on this camera, and I don't think it's 100% Fujifilm's fault, the pricing on this camera I think is ridiculous. $850 for this camera brand new. it's just not worth it for me in that price range. There is already on the market some used cameras that are going for about $550 to $600. And I think that's where the price should have been for this camera. But with tariffs and everything else going on in the world, that's kind of, I think, where they had to put the price. So no, no tick on Fujifilm for that. I just think that it's just because of when it was released. But I could definitely see this camera dropping in price over the next couple years or in the next year. I'm already seeing used copies on it online for about $550. Even on Fujifilm's website right now, you can get a refurbished copy for about $550. I might pick it up. But anyways, this is the Fuji X-Half. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Guys, I am so close to 1,000 subscribers, so if you're not subscribed and you watch this video, do me a favor, hit that like button, turn on notifications, and subscribe. Tell your friends, go through my videos, maybe send some of your favorite videos out to some people. Guys, I hope you have a great holiday this year. I know the world is crazy, but we're getting through it, right? Love you. See you in the next one. Peace.